Hey guys, how you doing today? So today we're going to be tackling installing beams. We're going up in my in-law in the second building of our property here, and there's going to be a ton of projects coming from here in the next few weeks and months here. So what I wanted to show you are these things up there. So you see those decorative beams there? So these are basically that farmhouse look that everybody's looking for. They are nice, they ground a room, they make you think that this has been there forever, and that's the point. Makes it cozy, makes it timeless, right? So we're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it in this room. So this is the bedroom. So follow me. We are going to install these things up there. All right, so stay tuned, I'll show you out. Good afternoon, guys. So we're back in the workshop right now, and I'm gonna be installing this beam, which is a 200-year-old beam that I've put in the kitchen as well. I had more than one. Here's the kitchen. That's the look I'm looking for upstairs, and hopefully we're going to take this beam, we're going to cut it, and make something good with it. All right? Yeah, so these beams are the real thing. They're 200 years old. They have been collecting dust in my barn here for a little while. And I know they're that age because they came from up here. When I redid this floor there, the original structure was a barn. There was two horse stalls behind me that we covered up and cleaned up. I mean, I had young kids at the time, so didn't want them to get hurt. So I also created this workshop. But I saved these beams, and this is not cheap right now. You go buy those, you know, given the old farmhouse craze. Go to a recycling facility or anything you have in your area, really, and try to find these beams. They go for an insane amount of money. So I was fortunate that I saved mine. All right, to maximize its use, what I'm going to do is measure it, go upstairs, measure what I have, and divide this so that I get as least of a waste as possible. You know, because obviously I'm going to have to cut it at an angle, and that's going to mean some waste, but at least I'm going to save the long spans, you know, to do the intended purpose, you know, so that it's nice and, you know, farmhouse like. All right, let me do that and I'll get back to you. All right, so here we go. So I measured the beam. The beam is 81 inch in length. My goal is to put 3 of them. So one on this beam right here, well, between these cross member there. I'm gonna put another one down at the bottom, at the front there, at the back of the room, and another one right here in the front. So this means 3 beam that are gonna go across. All right, and I'm gonna secure them. I'll show you downstairs when we get there, because actually, yeah, this is the top of the shop. Okay, so I was telling you about the age of the building. You know, you can clearly see that this is not new. All right, so let's go back downstairs and let's cut some wood and start thinking about installing. Hey guys, I'd like to give you a little bit of an overview about beams here. Honestly, you don't have to get real beams. There's a lot of alternatives that are much cheaper. You know, there's faux beams, they call them, which is basically a little demonstration here of what they are. It's essentially a U-channel type of board. Now, I made this out of scraps of old wood that I use for my floor inside. But you get the picture. It goes on top you will get the same feeling, you know, of coziness and everything, but it's a lot cheaper. You could do this with new wood and stain it to what you want, right? Now, for me, I'm going to be taking this beam, cutting it, and securing it to my joist there, my ceiling joist. But if you don't have that, here's an easy way to do this. So this is, you know, regular 2x4, right? Can be anything depending on the size of your beam. So this, let's say this is the surface of the sheetrock on your ceiling. You put those long boards there, and you find solid screwing, you know, underneath it, you know. So boom, put it down. You know, it's on top of your actual sheetrock. You're not damaging too much, except for a couple of holes, right? This is meant to fit over it, so that way you can lay that 2x4, 6, whatever it is that you're going to put up there, and then make the box that fit over it. And then all you have to do is secure it from the side. So that way you're going to have this look on your ceiling, you know. And if you can get your hand on recycled timber like that, you know, boom, instant patina, right? So you don't have to do much to this to make it, you know, it's fine the way it is. That's the look we want. If it's new wood, then scuffing it a little bit. There's a ton of video on YouTube on how to make wood look old. If you need one, I'll make one. I mean, it's just leave me a comment in the section. But that's how you could make a cheaper, let's say, because this wood is still not cheap. You can make a cheaper impression of those beams and you know, on a budget. But the end result is going to be pretty good as well. All right. So at 81 inch divided by 3, because I'm going to do 3 beams, right? I kind of marked it with tape so that you would see what I'm going to do with it, right? So I'm going to cut it like this. This is going to be the bottom, right? I could have gotten more out of this beam, you know, if I had taken, you know, one V and then just take the other V like that. I would have gained a couple of inches at least, all right? The reason I'm doing it this way is because, you know, there's an organic kind of flow to the beam. You see that floor groove there. There's stuff, you know, this thing has been meant to do something, and I want to preserve that groove going, or, you know, let's say an implied purpose consistent across the tree. So, you know, I'm going to see that groove all tree going to be at the bottom. It's going to be just what I'm looking for. All right, so that's why I'm doing it like that. All right, so all cut up. I did have to make an adjustment because when I got to one end of the beam, I realized that there was a lot of dry rot that I didn't want exposed. So I cut that piece off, and what that meant is that now this board here has the groove at the bottom while the other ones are on top. All right, well, live and learn, I suppose. We all make mistakes, but it's still gonna look good. Nobody's gonna really care. I will, because I'm gonna see it every day. But yeah, let's put them up. All right, guys, so we're upstairs. Let's see how it fits. So this is gonna go up, and on this side, because the door is over there, right now I'm facing the window. Just a little word. These are your friends when working alone. Trust me on that. So I'm going to put that up here. All right, so you see that's your other pair of hands. All right, so that's kind of the general thing. Level. Adjust it. All right. and we're going to put a couple of screws. Yeah, so these are structural screws. They're good for any kind of decking or structural, really, where you need meat, you know, to get those things solid. Torques, so they don't slip. So we're going to put 2 on each side, and that will be what it is. All right, guys, so here we are. They are installed, right? So they will give us a really good look, you know, that's going to be very consistent with what we've done on this side, you know, and yeah. So think about the finishing of it, right? Sheetrock will go in between, you know, on the ceiling. So it's going to be a nice little just reveal of a beam that will go from the kitchen here as we walk into the bedroom, and we're going to see that same kind of look over here. All right, so I hope you like what you saw here. I mean, this wasn't a difficult project. Again, you know, I screwed what, 12 screws altogether, but it's going to give it a pretty significant upgrade in the look department. It's going to be, you know, that farmhouse kind of look we want. It's going to be a good space to live in. My mother-in-law should be happy. We'll see. Thank you, guys. See you next time.